attacked, we have the right to want our military to respond. So that's not some warmonger saying, fuck the boys, send them over. That's what I wanted to address.
Jesse just sits and looks at Jimmy.
Why?
Awkwardly.
That was a fair point I just made. You were wrong when you said that.
I don't know. I didn't listen.
You just talk over everybody. Holy, you're a big guy and you talk loud.
I talked over you.
Yes,
You're just now yelling at me because I'm not talking.
I'm not yelling at you. I'm just yelling about your point. You accused us of something, so it's not.
No, I didn't accuse him.
Sure you did. You guys are just full of shit. You're warmongers. It's like that's not the truth.
Yeah.
Yes.
I stand corrected.
Thank you.
You're a great American.
Well, I'm not saying I'm a great American, but I'm not a warmonger.
When your country calls, you're there.
Hey, I've never been in the military, so you're brave. I'm a coward. I have no right. We got it. Stop.
Did I say that?
Yes, you did, through implication. We all speak this. We have the commonality of language, so you can't say, did I say that, when you say something. To me. You did it to me. You said I don't believe in the Constitution.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Jess.
Governor.
You always just sulk and walk away. Why?
No,
you put words in my mouth.
Hey, there's a fucking guy here telling me I got a schedule, asshole.
You're using dirty language, asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Bye, tough guy.
Bye, tough guy.
And thanks for your service to our country.
You're welcome. Thanks for touching me with your fucking stupid riff-raff fucking Rocky Horror hairdo. You're bigger than me and stronger than me, so what? I don't give a shit. You want to beat me up, go ahead. I'm not going to fight a guy like you. That means nothing to me.
I know.
I argued with you. You put words in my mouth, and you didn't like when I did it to you. You put words in my mouth saying I didn't believe in the Constitution, and that's bullshit. It's not true. I don't agree with abusing it.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, you're welcome. You're a bigger patriot than me. Godspeed. Fuck out of here.
Wow.
Get the camera outside.
Fucking baby.
That ended on a
Fucking baby.
nice note.
Who gives a shit? Big fucking guy who doesn't like the little guy yelling.
Congressman Jason Mattel with Young America's Foundation. All right. Now that the murder charges against Lance Corporals Justin Sherratt and Stephen Tatum have been dropped in the Haditha incident, or in the process of being dropped, would you like to issue an apology for saying that they killed innocent civilians in cold blood?
The trial's still going on.
Justin Sherratt and Stephen Tatum, two men you accuse of murdering innocent civilians in cold blood.
The trial's still going on.
The charges in the process of being dismissed. So what? The process of being dismissed. Do you like besmirching our troops, sir? Do you like besmirching our troops, sir?
You've been in the service. I enlisted in Korea, and I enlisted in Vietnam.
You accuse them of murdering innocent civilians in cold blood. That's something that would come from Al Jazeera, not a congressman, sir. Hey, Senator Kerry, Jason Matera with Young America's Foundation.
How are you?
I was wondering, do you have any advice for the new group of young activists who are organizing Winter Soldier 2?
I'm not familiar with what they're doing or where they're at. I just don't.
Do you think this crop of young anti-war activists, do you think there will be any frauds like Al Hubbard?
I have no idea. I hope not.
Do you think that they will make slanderous accusations, accusing the troops of raping women, pillaging villages, just like you did to the Fulbright Committee?
I didn't make those.
You didn't?
They had personally raped, cut off ears, cut off heads, taped wires from portable telephones to human genitals and turned up the power, cut off limbs, blown up bodies, randomly shot at civilians, razed villages in fashion reminiscent of Genghis Khan, shot cattle and dogs for fun, poisoned food stocks, and generally ravaged the countryside of South Vietnam.
You served in the same unit as I did, John. Can you tell me about any war crimes that occurred in that unit, Coastal Division 11? And a second question, why didn't you attempt to get out of the unit or submit a request when you were there if you saw anything that shocked a normal man?
Well, I'll come back to the question.
I'd like you to answer that question if you would. We served, you obviously are quite good on the polished rhetoric, but I did serve in the same place you did, and not for 4 months, but for 18 months, and I never saw anything, and I'd like you to tell me about the war crimes you saw committed there, and also why you didn't do something about them.
They had personally raped, cut off ears, cut off heads, taped wires from portable telephones to human genitals and turned up the power, cut off limbs, blown up bodies, randomly shot at civilians, razed villages in a fashion reminiscent of Genghis Khan, shot cattle and dogs for fun, poisoned food stocks, and generally ravaged the countryside of South Vietnam.
Did you ever verify those?
Quoted about that.
But did you ever?
Times.
So you never substantiated those charges before you?
I gave them to the committee because I felt that they ought to be investigated, and that's exactly what I said. Many of those charges, incidentally, were subsequently verified by different entities.
Could you sign the picture of the dedication the North Vietnamese created and claiming you helped them win the war?
No, I wouldn't sign that. No, I wouldn't.
Do you have any thoughts?
Who do you represent?
Young America's Foundation.
Oh.
Does it bother you that the North Vietnamese created a memorial dedicated to you?
It's not dedicated to me.
Is this really what you think our position is? Are we going to be this silly? Is this what we believe in?
Neocons' foreign policy its purpose is twofold. First, I mean the real enemy for America, for the neocons, is not communism. It's not radical Islam. It's the philosophy of nihilism. They argue that the American people have become morally corrupt, bankrupt, heathens. And therefore, in order to overcome this nihilism, we have to sacrifice ordinary, everyday Americans in military adventures around the world. They want to put America on a state of permanent warfare, the purpose of which is actually twofold. One, as I said, to make ordinary, everyday Americans more virtuous, to get them to focus their lives in sacrificing for the nation state.
Yeah. No, it's not radical Islam. No, it's we need to sacrifice for the nation state. That's what it is. Really? 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 He goes on, mutual assured destruction. This is one of the reasons that nuclear weapons were never launched during the Cold War. While Iran may not be fond of Israel or the United States, they know that if they acquired a nuclear weapon and attempted to launch it at Israel, the entire nation would be wiped off the map in a matter of minutes. To make matters worse for Iran, the destruction would be mutual. Their missiles could not reach the United States, and Israel will have them outgunned. It would be a case of national suicide, and they know it. Plus, suicide terrorism is a direct response to the occupation and bombing of people's lands by a much more powerful nation, and they're not technologically capable of fighting with conventional warfare. For more information on this, please read the book Dying to Win by Robert Pape, the world's foremost expert on suicide terrorism. Let's deal with the first part first. And of course he goes right into what he thinks suicide terrorism is. Something he got off the back of a Michael Scheuer book. Because, you know, right along next to it when you go to Amazon, you can see Michael Scheuer's book. Claiming that mutual assured destruction could possibly work when the tools of these people, if you want to call them that, is suicide as a weapon. first and foremost, not as a backup, but plan A, is ridiculous. The Russian mindset on warfare and on the ideological battle never involved suicidal operations. For some reason, it does when it comes to the jihadis. Now, you can believe what you want about the people running Iran, but I tell you now, they think that the end of the world brings upon the caliphate. Yes, I know, I'm the conspiracy theorist, believing the actual words that they say. I'm the madman. It doesn't work when your enemy thinks that suicide brings him closer to God. Does it? Furthermore, on your second part about suicidal terrorism, the world's foremost expert on suicide terrorism says who? The Ron Paul crowd's go-to CIA bureaucrat, Michael Scheuer? Really now?
Iran's leaders declare the Islamic Messiah, or Mahdi, will soon return to stamp out unbelievers. They claim that Israel will be wiped off the map and that America's days are numbered. And according to one former regime insider, they truly believe it.
This day for them is the ultimate day in Islam. It's the day of justice in their views.
Reza Khalili once served in Iran's Revolutionary Guards, the most powerful and influential arm of the Iranian regime. We've disguised his voice and appearance for his safety.
1/3 of the world population has to die due to nuclear wars. Another 1/3 due to hunger and chaos and havoc. And then Imam Mahdi, the Shiites' 12 Imam, will reappear, kill the rest of the infidels, and raise the flag of Islam in all corners of the world.
The Guards began shortly after the 1979 Iranian Revolution to protect Iran's new Islamic State. Today, it is a fearsome military force with ground, air, and naval capabilities. They answer only to Iran's supreme leader, and their activities range from domestic spying to international terrorism. They even have a hand in Iran's economy.
The principles of jihad, of martyrdom, of killing the Christians and Jews, of the caliphate, of Sharia, were these drilled in on a regular basis?
The ideology of martyrdom and ending up in heaven alongside Prophet Muhammad and Imam Ali was the main focus of the clerics. You have to die for the glorification of Allah.
When the Iranian Revolution hit, he saw an opportunity for democracy after years of internal repression under the Shah. The Ayatollah Khomeini had promised freedom and openness.
The deceit was so strong that the Iranians in millions bought it, and so did I.
After joining the Revolutionary Guards, Reza soon discovered just how wrong he was.
I saw a group of teenage girls tortured, taken to the courtyard, and executed. I talked to my best friend who told me that they raped his little sister in front of him just to bring pain to him.
During a visit to the U.S., he contacted the CIA. Soon he was back in Iran, spying for America. He details his covert work against the Iranian regime in his new book, A Time to Betray. In it, he reveals how Iran uses mosques in the U.S. and Europe to plot and finance terrorism.
It's used as recruitment centers, backdoor meetings, transfers of arms and cash, and putting together terrorist activities, and I was involved in some of their meetings.
He played the double game for years, feeding inside information to the CIA. At the same time, he became frustrated with America's efforts to engage the Iranian regime in dialogue.
The reason for the failure of every American administration is that they do not understand the ideology. It's taken right out of the Quran. I mean, it says in Quran that you kill the non-believers until there are no more non-believers on earth.
That ideology drove the Revolutionary Guards to create the terror group Hezbollah in Lebanon and engineer the 1983 U.S. Marine barracks bombing in Beirut. Their new mission is helping Iran to acquire nuclear weapons. Reza says they're close.
Everything is in place. And the only part missing is for them to become a nuclear-powered state. Then they're going to attack Israel. They're going to attack